Hello, Broad Street family. I wanted to talk to you for just a few minutes about some of the things that are going on in the world and how Broad Street Baptist Church is going to react to it all. Obviously, we live in extraordinary circumstances that no one living has ever had to experience before. There have been times in church history where similar situations have taken place in certain places in the world, but we personally have not had to deal with anything like this. That not only includes individuals and churches, but our government as well. Our government seems to be doing everything possible to help us through the coronavirus pandemic, but they've never had to deal with this before either. We're all doing the very best we can. Having said that, let me go ahead and give you the main point of me talking to you today, and then give you some more explanation and some things that we would like you to think about. We're going to cancel all services and activities this Sunday at Broad Street Baptist Church. Many churches in Pulaski County have already taken this step, and we think that it is the right decision for us. Our government officials, national, state, and local, have asked us to practice social distancing. In other words, we're not to gather in large groups in order to stop the spread of the coronavirus. I think that this is a reasonable request. I certainly am not an expert on the coronavirus. I am definitely not an infectious disease doctor with experience in dealing with such things. Listening to those who are is important, and what we're being told is not to gather. It's important for us not to fight against what we are being told by experts. To do so would be arrogant on our part. Now, beyond that, we're told in Scripture to obey the governing authorities over us. Now, there are some who could argue that this is unbiblical not to meet, and so we should ignore what the authorities are saying. I don't think that that mindset is correct. Again, I think that this is reasonable, and I think that this also because of a biblical admonition. I think it's right for us not to meet right now because we're told to love one another. I'm not afraid of getting the coronavirus. I'm not in any of the risk categories for this virus. I would probably be sick for 2 to 3 weeks like I am with any cold or virus, and then I'd be okay. But that may not be the case for everyone. Because I love you, and I love those who are in our church who are in the higher risk categories for complications, I think it's reasonable for us not to put each other in danger and for us to do what the government has asked us to do. And I think that it is right for us to show love to each other by staying home and eliminating the threat of spreading the virus. As of today, the virus is closer to us. There has been one reported case in Houston County, which is further warning for us to be careful, and I'm sure that those numbers are going to grow. Having said all of that, I want to tell you that I hate this. I hate this because I'm going to miss gathering with you. I enjoy coming together to sing and pray and give and worship in the Word with you. You're my church family, and I don't like when we can't meet. What the church staff plans to do is to have an online service Sunday morning. We will do the music that we would normally do for a service, and I'll preach a message. The online service will start at 10:30 a.m. That's a little bit different. But we're not having Sunday school, so we thought that we could do it a bit earlier. The online service will be live streamed on both Facebook and YouTube. We will send out information for you to set that up later on this week for those who don't use these services. We hope that you and your family will participate in this time of worship. Now, we debated this for really one main reason. We don't want anyone to think that watching the online service is somehow a substitute for actually being at church. It is not right to forsake the assembling together of believers on a regular basis. The reason we've been doing the services on Facebook is to help those who are sick, on vacation, or homebound, to stay connected with the church. But it should never replace worshiping together when we have the opportunity to do so. when all of this is over and we get back to normal services, if we look and notice that some are using the online service instead of coming to church and being with God's people, well, then we'll stop doing it altogether. We feel that strongly about it. I also want to encourage you to continue to give your tithes and offerings. Now, I'll bring this up because several have asked questions about giving during something like this, so I want to help you in this area as well. Now, the easiest action would be for you to send a check in the mail, and that's what we'd encourage you to do. Now, we're also setting up online giving as another option to use during this time. There is going to be a link on our church website, bsbchurch.net, where you can give with a credit card or a debit card or through your bank account if that's easier. That should be ready to go before Sunday. Remember that the church, like your household, still has bills to pay, and we do not want the church to be hurt financially. So please continue to be faithful in your giving. Finally, I want to give a challenge. Times like this can certainly have negative effects, as we're seeing. But God can also use these times to help us grow. So husbands and fathers, I want to challenge you to lead your families spiritually during this time. You need to take the initiative in making sure your family gathers to worship Sunday morning at home. You need to help them grow spiritually during the week. Lead them in prayer and Bible study. Now, there's some information that we can send to you about going through the Sunday school material if you have small children. This has been provided for us by Lifeway. And this would be a great activity for you to continue to strengthen your children spiritually when they can't be at church to hear the Sunday school lesson. And we encourage fathers to lead in this way. In fact, I hope fathers and husbands will take this challenge to lead their families spiritually as God has commanded. Use this situation as a springboard to do it in the future. Now, if there's anything that I or the church staff can do for you during this time, then please don't hesitate to let us know. If you don't want to get out to the grocery store or the pharmacy, then call us. We can help. Maybe you have some other need, or you know somebody who has a need. If that's the case, call the church office and we will do what we can to help. We want to keep you as safe as possible and navigate through this time so that we can get back to more normal days. Our prayers are with each of you and with our church as a whole. It's our prayer that God uses the coronavirus and all that is happening to drive us closer to Christ and the lost to know Him. So I hope that you'll be praying this as well. We love you, and we're praying that we can get back together very soon.